colleagues, dear Executive Director of EFSA, Dr. Bernard Uhl, dear member of the Management Board of EFSA, and other officials from EFSA, distinguished guests from the European and neighboring countries, and specifically Algeria, Israel, Jordan, Moldova, Morocco, Palestine, dear collaborators in the field of food safety and risk assessment, I welcome you to this very important workshop that is co-organized between the Food Safety Council of Cyprus and EFSA. And we are very grateful to EFSA for joining forces with us to organize this workshop. And I also would like to thank our Minister of Health, who has put under his auspices this workshop, and also is present here to welcome you, to address you, and say how important that collaboration and team working and networking is among not only member states, but among countries of also the European neighboring program that we have today in solving problems in food safety. Honorable Minister of Health, the floor is yours to address the participants. Thank you. Despite your busy schedule, you're here with us today.
Dear member of the Management Board of EFSA, dear Executive Director of EFSA, distinguished guests from EFSA and the European neighboring program countries, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great pleasure to welcome you all to Cyprus and to the Risk Analysis Framework Workshop co-organized by EFSA and the National Food Safety Council. Food safety is a global concern. The changing patterns of food, agricultural production and lifestyle, the emergence of new technologies, processes and new contaminants, as well as the globalization of food trade and climatic changes, call governments, food organizations, and agencies to take greater responsibility for food safety and consumer protection. The new global environment places considerable obligations on both importing and exporting countries to strengthen their food control system and to implement and enforce risk-based food safety strategies on harmonized regulations. These, however, are of little value without effective complements by risk assessors. The establishment of EFSA 13 years ago as the EU authority in charge of risk assessment is a landmark in the EU history. EFSA is the scientific basis for EU legislation, secures high standards in the control of food, feed and nutrition safety, acting at the same time as the watchdog for animal health and plant protection. I am happy to acknowledge that EFSA's establishment has played a substantial role in underpinning food safety in the EU while reflecting independency, transparency in its procedures and processes, and diligence in performing its tasks. Consumer health protection and prevention of health risks is a prime issue for the Ministry of Health, and to this end Cyprus is working in close cooperation with EFSA, instituting the Cyprus National Food Safety Council in 2004. Cyprus has succeeded in establishing a robust food safety control system based on EU legislation, which led to the submission to the RASF system of 327 notifications for the period 2009 to 2014. During the same period, nearly 18,000 border controls applied for foodstuffs, leading to 69 border rejections. These remarkable figures, quite noticeable given Cyprus' small size and population, have placed Cyprus among the leading countries in the RASF notification system. To this end, the Cyprus State General Lab has also established a risk assessment unit and has developed its own risk assessment model so as to fully utilize all analytical results produced and food consumption data to support risk managers as well as policymakers and protect consumer health. Furthermore, through the grant and procurement schemes of EFSA, Cyprus has succeeded in getting approximately €500,000 for implementing 7 projects coordinated by the State General Lab under the Ministry of Health. Our efforts transcend EU borders since food safety is a global issue in its nature. In 2010, Cyprus co-organized with DG Santes a training program for 13 neighboring third countries on EU legislation and implementation of food control systems under the BTSF program. The acceleration and expansion of such training ventures to cover also risk assessment is evidenced by the multitude of regional, bilateral and multilateral trade relationships established between EU and third countries of the Mediterranean region and the Asian continent. Cyprus is a neighbor to most of the countries in the ENP program and can act as a bridge for the cooperation between EU and the ENP countries. Due exactly to its geographical position, Cyprus can emerge with the support of DG Santes and EFSA as an established leader in effective food safety standards and regulations for the EU, as the vanguard entity responsible for enhanced food safety at the borders of EU, and as a training center for the neighboring countries which have for long close ties with Cyprus. Ladies and gentlemen, the presence of the EFSA Executive Director, Dr. Ur, today indicates the determination of EFSA to take a strong collaborative relationship with risk managers and risk assessors, both at the EU and national level and beyond the EU borders. To this end, Cyprus will continue to offer its expertise and data to EFSA in order for the role and achievements of EFSA to have a greater impact in the region. We all have ambitious visions, but to reach to tangible results in a world facing many challenges and to ensure that safety and health standards are not only duly taken into account but even improved, we should strengthen ventures and promoting programs and provide capacity building assistance to all stakeholders in the food chain and strengthen collaboration that will further initiatives for harmonization. I am confident that EFSA, with the support of all member states and other countries outside the EU, will continue to contribute through scientific work to protect humans, animals, and the environment from risks associated with the food chain and keep well-informed consumers. I wish you all a fruitful and productive meeting and enjoy Cyprus for those of you who are visiting us from abroad. Thank you.
And the risk managers on the outcome of our risk assessments and what does this mean for the daily life of the European citizens. What can they do also to influence food safety, to increase food safety? So it's two main tasks: scientific risk assessment and communication about risks. We can only do this by cooperation, and this is the reason why we are here today, to cooperate with our colleagues in the member states, to cooperate with the Food Safety Council of Cyprus, with our colleagues here in Larnaca, and we also have organized the workshop jointly with the Food Safety Council of Cyprus. The workshop today goes further than Europe is. It goes to the neighborhood countries of Europe. The European Union has set up a European Neighborhood Policy Program, and this is a very good idea, because you have to bear in mind, with each food we import into Europe, we also import the risks that are in this food. So if you want to have safe food in Europe, you have to make sure that the safe food is also produced in the other countries. Otherwise, we will import the risks and we will have then problems in Europe. So this cooperation with countries outside Europe is so important to ensure that they have the same standards that we have, so that our citizens, and obviously also their citizens, enjoy food of high quality. And this workshop today about risk analysis and risk assessment gives an opportunity not only to talk about theory, but also to work hands-on with examples, with question and answers. We have experts from EFSA here that will contribute to this workshop. We have the colleagues from the neighborhood countries. They will show their situation in their respective countries. And altogether, this is one step further to a joint European and more than European approach to food safety. I'm very happy to be here, and I think it's one more puzzle, one more stone in our puzzle towards a European risk assessment agenda. Thank you very much, and I'm happy to answer all the questions you will have.
Thank you for giving us that press conference. I would like to ask you how safe it is to control, how difficult it is to control the food safety in other countries.
You You mean countries outside Europe?
Outside Europe. To set for how easy it is for Europe to set European standards in other countries?
I would say it is not an easy task, because today we have a globalized trade of food. Many European countries import food from 180 different countries, so it's really a globalized network of supply for food business operators. It's not an easy task, because as we know, the world is so different in other continents, but the European Union has set up since many years programs, but also audits, to go to this country and certify on the spot whether or not these countries meet the European standards. There's a distinct organization which is called the Food and Veterinary Office. It's not part of EFSA, it's part of the European Commission, and with their audits they also want to make sure that the countries that export foods to Europe have the same standards as we have. But that goes much further as Europe. Obviously, it's a global exercise, and there we not only have Europe, we have the World Health Organization, WHO. We have the Codex Alimentarius that wants to set standards on a global basis, and also EFSA is contributing to the standard setting in the Codex Alimentarius. It's a way to go. We are not yet there. So
you think that there is more to do in order to be satisfied about the food safety?
Yes. I would say in Europe we can be proud of the food standards and the food safety we have. I think we produce and provide the safest food in the history of Europe, but still we have problems. There are foodborne diseases. We have problems with Campylobacter. There are people that get sick of noroviruses, for example. So we can never be complacent and say, yes, now food safety is achieved. It's never achieved. We always have to go, we have to be vigilant. We have to look forward to emerging risks, new risks that come up because of climate change, because of migration, because of globalization of trade. This is one of tasks of EFSA also, to try to anticipate emerging risks, which is difficult. We don't have the crystal ball technology, but we try to anticipate emergent risks. To come to your questions, we never can be complacent and say now food safety is achieved and we can go home. No, we have to commit ourselves every day to go a step further in food safety.
And what does it mean to get safe food to the consumer, to the European consumer? Food with no risks, or food that is not genetically
Modified.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, with regards to, you mentioned genetically modified organisms, or you could also say organic food on the other side, it's also a choice of the consumer. The consumer can decide which kind of food he or she prefers, and with this choice the consumer is giving a strong sign to trade and industry what the consumers want. So it's the task of the food producers to provide safe food, and only safe food. Nothing else should be on the market. But then it's also a task of the consumers to take a decision what they buy in the supermarket or on a local market. And with this choice, the consumers every day also give a sign to trade what the consumers want to have. For genetically modified organisms, it's quite clear. In Europe, most of the consumers don't want it. And because of that, it's also not traded, it's not produced, it's not marketed in Europe, because the consumers have made a clear choice. They don't want to have this product.
Στο θέμα των καταναλωτών, από τη μια πλευρά έχουμε τους ελέγχους των αρμοδίων αρχών για την ασφάλεια και ποιότητα των τροφίμων, που πρέπει να είναι εντελεχής αυτός ο έλεγχος, αλλά και από την άλλη και φυσικά και τον έλεγχο των βιομηχανιών, τον εσωτερικό τους έλεγχο που κάνουν για τα προϊόντα τους, που έχουν και αυτοί σοβαρή ευθύνη τι παράγουν και τι ποιότητα προϊόντων θα βγάλουν έξω στον κόσμο. Αλλά παράλληλα έχει και ευθύνη ο ίδιος ο καταναλωτής, όπου όταν ορθά πληροφορείται από τις αρμόδιες αρχές, και αυτή είναι ευθύνη και της Ευρωπαϊκής Επιτροπής και της EFSA, να πληροφορεί ορθά τον καταναλωτή, αλλά και των αρμοδίων αρχών σε κάθε κράτος μέλος, να να έχει αυτή την πληροφορήση για να κάνει τις ορθές επιλογές ο καταναλωτής. Επίσης, στην κουζίνα του, στο σπίτι του, να τηρεί αρχές που να βεβαιώνουν ότι το τρόφιμο που χειρίζεται σωστά για να μην δημιουργούνται πρόσθετοι κίνδυνοι στην ίδια του την κουζίνα, στο ίδιο του το σπίτι, παραδείγματος χάρη τηγάνισμα, πατατών, φύλαξη προϊόντων που θα είναι πάροντα σε νίκητες για να αναπτύχουν οικοτοξίνες που είναι καρκινογόνες, όλα αυτά που πρέπει να ενημερωθεί σωστά ο καταναλωτής για να μπορεί και αυτός από πλευράς του να δώσει τη δική του συμβολή στην ασφάλεια του τροφίμου μέσα στο ίδιο του σπίτι. Και γι' αυτό και το Συμβούλιο Ασφάλειας Τροφίμων και το Συμβούλιο του Κράτους με διάφορες πληροφορίες μέσα από τρίπτυχα, μέσα από καμπάνιες από τα μέσα μαζικής ενημέρωσης και με αυτή την αφορμή να ευχαριστήσω που είσαστε εδώ, γιατί στηρίζετε αυτές τις προσπάθειες μας και θέλουμε να δίνουμε σωστές πληροφορίες στον κόσμο. Προσπαθούμε να ενημερωθεί σωστά με πληροφορίες που να βασίζονται πάνω σε καθαρά επιστημονικά στοιχεία και ευρήματα που έχουμε ως Υπουργείο του Κράτους από τις χιλιάδες δείγματα που ελέγχουμε, τροφίμων τα οποία μας φέρνουν οι αρμόδιες αρχές για σκοπούς αναλύσεων. Εδώ θα ήθελα να δώσω το σημαντικό ρόλο της Κύπρου στους ελέγχους αυτούς, όπου λόγω της γεωγραφικής μας θέσης η Κύπρος έχει ένα ακόμα πρόσθετο ρόλο στην Ευρωπαϊκή Επιτροπή ως σημείο πρώτου ελέγχου, συνόρων ελέγχου μεταξύ των τρίτων χωρών με τις οποίες γειτονιάζει η Κύπρος και της Κύπρου. Παίρνουμε χιλιάδες εμπορεύματα από αυτές τις χώρες και αν δεν υπήρχε αυτός ο συστηματικός και σοβαρός έλεγχος από τις αρμόδιες αρχές που παίρνουν δείγματα και του Γενικού Χημείου που αναλύει αυτά τα δείγματα, αυτός ο έλεγχος έχει πάρει, μπορώ να σας πω, τα εύσημα από επιθεωρητές της Ευρώπης. Γι' αυτό βρίσκουμε πάρα πολλά ακατάλληλα τρόφιμα, τα οποία προλαμβάνουμε στην είσοδο πριν να διοτελεθούν στον καταναλωτή, πριν να πάνε στις αγορές, εκεί που πρέπει κατά την εισαγωγή να ελεγχθούν και αν είναι ορθά προϊόντα, σωστά προϊόντα με τις ευρωπαϊκές προδιαγραφές να κυκλοφορήσουν σωστά. Αν όχι, θα πάνε είτε πίσω στη χώρα τους ή να καταστραφούν εκεί και με αυτόν τον τρόπο γίνεται η πρόληψη. Γιατί το κυριότερο σημείο στον έλεγχο των τροφίμων είναι η πρόληψη. Εάν κυκλοφορήσει ένα τρόφιμο και μετά το βρούμε αφού καταναλωθεί, το παιχνίδι το χάσαμε.
Η Ευρωπαϊκή Ένωση σε όλους αυτούς τους κανονισμούς και με βάση συγκεκριμένων κιόλας οδηγιών και κανονισμών ελέγχει όλα τα εισαγόμενα από τρίτες χώρες. Και έχει γίνει ένα σύστημα αξιολόγησης του κινδύνου. Εάν από τις χώρες οι οποίες συχνά βρίσκουμε παραβιάζουν τα δείγματα, δηλαδή εκτός προδιαγραφών δείγματα, εκείνα γίνεται και αυξημένος έλεγχος. Το λεγόμενο στα αγγλικά increased rate of control. Με αυτόν τον τρόπο γίνονται στοχευμένα προγράμματα κάθε χρόνο, πολυετή, προγράμματα και σε πολυετή βάση, αλλά και κάθε χρόνο αναθεωρούνται σύμφωνα με τα καινούργια δεδομένα, τους καινούριους κινδύνους. Και αυτά μπαίνουν στο στόχαστρο των προγραμμάτων που καταρτίζει το Γενικό Χημείο του Κράτους σε συνεργασία με τις αρμόδιες δειγματοληπτικές υπηρεσίες, έτσι που προσφέρουν τα δείγματα, οι ονομικές, οι κτηνιατρικές κτλ. Οπότε αυτά τα δείγματα έρχονται στο Χημείο όσα μπορούν να δεσμευτούν στην εισαγωγή και να γίνει η ανάλυση για τα μη ευαγγείωτα τρόφιμα βεβαίως, γίνεται η δέσμευση. Παραδείγματος χάρη για τα πιο καρκινογόνες ουσίες, τις οικοτοξίνες, τις αφρatoxίνες, εκείνα που δεσμεύονται στο λιμάνι και αν δεχτεί η δική μας εργαστηριακή έκθεση, αν είναι εντάξει και ότι είναι σύμφωνα με τις ευρωπαϊκούς κανονισμούς και οδηγίες, τότε μόνο απελευθερώνονται στην αγορά. Γιατί αν απελευθερωθούν στην κυπριακή αγορά, είναι σαν να απελευθερώνονται σε όλη την Ευρωπαϊκή Ένωση. Γιατί υπάρχει ελεύθερη διακίνηση στον αγαθό. Είναι σαν να τα παίρνεις από τη Λευκοσία, Βρυξέλλες, είναι σαν Λευκοσία, Λέμεσος, έτσι. Και είναι ελεύθερη. Με αυτόν τον τρόπο, σε αυτά τα κρίσιμα σημεία ελέγχου, την εισαγωγή και κάποια πρωτοταγή παραγωγή στα χωράφια μας κτλ., προλαβαίνουμε ώστε να μην μπουν τα κατάλληλα δείγματα στην αγορά. Και αυτό επαληθεύεται από τους ελέγχους που κάνουμε στην αγορά. Και αυτά τα πολύ επικίνδυνα και καρκινογόνα, ελάχιστα δείγματα βρίσκουμε που να μην είναι μη συνάδοντα Γιατί επαληθεύεται ο αρχικός έλεγχος, ο πρωτογενής που κάναμε στην εισαγωγή, στην πρωτοβαρία αποθήκευση κτλ.